Well, I made it back. Finally figured out all the technology stuff here. It's the best betting show ever on a Friday. And lucky for you, it is a Prez-free zone here. Doesn't get any better than that. Art to Caesar. Pleasure to see you here, my man. T-minus 8 days and counting until week 0 of the college football season. More NFL preseason week 2, especially after the craziness we saw last night. A lot going on. Major League Baseball, full 15-game slates. Another unbelievable bad beat with the Reds and Cardinals yesterday. So get it all out of your system now, Art, because it's coming. How did the books do last night or yesterday with some of those?
Yeah, in the Raider game, there was a bad beat, too, on the side. Both preseason games go over. So is this a trend in week 2? Because we know, I believe they were 12-4 to the under last week, and dogs were really good too last week. So with the first 2 games going over, was there an adjustment? Will there be even more of an adjustment? You know, the public likes to bet the overs, so that's always going to be in play here as well.
Yeah, I'm looking very forward to seeing how this weekend goes, because we've got, Art, a lot, and I mean a lot of games coming up where there's still a lot to be decided here. Who are we kidding? Quarterbacks, there's backup quarterbacks matter. Let's not forget, Art, because it all depends on if your guy goes down, who's the one coming into the game? Who's going to carry the load? If you're looking at any any sort of season-long bets and futures, man, you better have an idea of who's coming in and backing up. A lot of that is going to be decided here over the next week or so. The Raiders even said, I haven't made any decision on the quarterback yet. I thought that was great by Kubiak last night. Like, who are you kidding? Like, it's either you're going with Cousins or you're not going with Cousins. Like, I don't know nobody's going to fault you if you go with the kid you picked first overall in the draft, Mendoza. So I don't know we're still trying to figure it out. No, you're not. The sooner you tell us, the sooner it is that the team can also rally around whoever the hell it's going to be at this point.
Joe, it never made sense to me when they came out months ago and they were like, Cousins is our starter. It's like, why do we need to know that in April or May? You just took the kid first. Let's see what happens when he comes into the building. This isn't the 70s or the 80s. Number 1 pick start right away.
Yep,
they don't sit. Like, there was no reason in, like I said, May to be like, well, Kirk Cousins is our starter. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, zero sense, actually. But it's the Raiders, after all. So we'll see how it goes from there. In the meantime, more NFL preseason coming up. A lot of Major League Baseball. I think we do have a couple of WNBA games as well coming up here today. So tell me, what do you got sharp bet-wise? What are you starting to see?
So in the sharps, I'm going to give you 3 baseball. I'm going to give you a WNBA, and I'm even going to give you a UFC. It's a bad card, but there was some sharp movement on some UFC. Let's start with the ladies. They took over 161.5 with the Lynx, and then they're on 3 sides here in Major League Baseball. They're on the White Sox, they're on the Royals, who are a slight dog at home, and they're on the Padres. And in UFC, they took Sergey Spivak, plus 155, plus 140. So 2 different groups hit him at plus 155 and plus 140. He's now plus 125. So they're taking a shot there on the dog.
Interesting. Spivak, huh? All right, with a little UFC Fight Night card there. Looking forward to that. Of course, we do have tennis coming up, right? U.S. Open major just around the corner. I know Alcaraz is back in. Now Sinner drops out earlier today with a knee injury, so I guess just all the money's going to come in on, even though we haven't seen him in 3 months, 4 months. But I would imagine he is going to be a huge favorite, provided he doesn't hang out with, Garris there, who apparently has a powder problem. But that was a little strange of a story as well there. All right, so we're ready to go here. NFL, Jets in Pittsburgh, Carolina, Jacksonville, Green Bay, and Denver. We'll talk about those games coming up, but let's talk a little parlay of the day. How did you and Prez do yesterday?
Honestly, Joe, the last 2 days we've hit 2 teamers in a row. So we got
Wow.
to keep the streak alive. Maybe the two-teamer is the new trend here on the best betting
I
show ever.
love it. I love it. Well, as long as Brian Power's not here, I think we're safe. So kick us off here, Art. Where are you looking on the board here?
I'm going to go Cubs and Mariners, and I'm going to take under 8.
Cubs and Mariners under 8. All right. I am going to go with the game that makes the most sense here. Probably will be the most watched game here tonight. No, it's not the Royals. I'm going to take the Brewers and Miz on the mound over Chris Sale and Atlanta. Look at Milwaukee to get it done at home. Listen, if I get Miz at minus 135, 140, I'm going to take him anytime at home. So I don't care who he's playing. And by the way, Atlanta having a hard time hitting the ball lately. So there you go. A couple of two-teamer money line parlay there for you in Major League Baseball. Let's head over to the predictive markets here, Art, as Prez, I do not believe, left me any messages here about Bitcoin. So we're going to go on to what we were doing earlier in the week, which was talking about some of these exact order, divisional NFL exact order. Where are they going to finish? And we'll do the AFC West here now. And it's interesting with the prices. Obviously, Kansas City, as you can see, 16 cents, 19 cents, 17 cents. This is all about who do you think is going to win, Art? Who do you think is going to win and finish first this division? If it's Kansas City, all right, Kansas City, Denver, and who cares about the rest seems to be the prevailing thought. But who else is going to win this division? Art, who else you thinking?
Well, I mean, you look at it, we obviously just spoke about the Raiders. You pretty much take the Raiders out. They're probably going to be your last place pick unless you think one of these other teams really blow up. But it's interesting because you can make a case for all of them. Kansas City, Denver, the Chargers are always the darlings in August. Everybody always picks the Chargers to do all sorts of things. And, they always fall flat on their face. I tend to lean towards Denver. I think Denver with their defense and, I hope the quarterback can stay healthy. They have a Hall of Fame coach, all those things. But I think Denver sets up well to win this division again. So I think I would probably go, because I don't believe in the Chargers. I'm going to go Kansas City second. I'll put the Chargers third and the Raiders fourth.
Oh, and the Raiders are fourth. Yeah, so really it just comes down to what you think here. Denver or Kansas City. I think that's the prevailing thought. The Chargers just can't keep the offensive line healthy, which is just amazing to me. And I don't think anybody, look at that, nobody's betting Vegas. That's a shocker there. The Chargers, though, they're getting some love here. Chargers, Denver, Chargers, Kansas City. The big one here, I guess, is this one where the Chargers, Kansas City, Denver, and Vegas, that's up to 17 cents there, Art. And then pick your poison. The reverse, same situation. So it's interesting that they're getting that kind of love. That Chargers winning. Am I missing something here? We expect Harbaugh to have a bounce back year, but I mean, listen, if you ask me outside of Mahomes who's the best quarterback in the division, I'm going to tell you he plays for the Chargers. But I don't know if they can keep him healthy enough or if it matters very much. That's the problem. And are we convinced we know what we're getting from Kansas City this year? Art, are you convinced?
No, I mean, I think, listen, anytime you have Andy Reid and Mahomes there, you always got a shot to do something because you got two all-timers, leading your team. But that's why I think they're right behind Denver. And listen, we say this every year with the Chargers. How many times do we sit here in August? We go on a million shows or we watch a million shows and they're pounding the Chargers down our throat. They're saying this is the year they win the Super Bowl. Herbert's going to break out and win MVP. It's every year. Like, I need to see it first. So I'd rather be the guy who's going to say, hey, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to continue to bet against the Chargers. That's why I put them third. Listen, you could make a case for either Kansas City or Denver. I just feel better about Denver's defense. So I think I would slightly have Denver over Kansas City here.
Until I see otherwise. If you're telling me I got a healthy Mahomes for 90% of the season, they got a pretty good running game now, so he's not going to have to. He's not going to have to be everything. Spags is going to handle the defense. I'm not worried. Art. It's Kansas City until further notice, and to me, I'm worried about what happens to Bo Nix.
Mm.
Who's it? Stidham? Like what's going on with
Yeah.
Denver? Who
Oh,
we
we saw last year what happened when he got hurt. And listen, I believe we get that week 1, right? Denver and Kansas City.
correct?
Oh yeah, so we're gonna know. We're gonna know right away.
We're gonna know rather quickly.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced Mahomes. He's not going to play in the preseason, but is he really going to be ready to play in week 1? Are we pushing him for a reason? A lot still to be determined, but Kansas City and Denver seem to be the overwhelming favorites. Although the Chargers taking that division have a little bit of love as well in that marketplace. Don't forget, hit the like, hit that subscribe button, guys. Become part of that WagerTalk TV family. We appreciate you stopping by. We do have a little bit of business. We are contractually obligated to show Prez in a leotard from the 70s, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll tell you that Prez also has a Major League Baseball bet best up. He's been absolutely crushing it in MLB. Been a hell of a week for me, too. I have a 4% play up and available. I posted this thing first thing when this line became available. So that, too, is up over at WagerTalk.com. Now, the NFL here. We've got some future bets to talk about. After what we've seen so far, after what we've heard, injury reports, what are you looking at in the NFL future market for us, Art?
Well, the last couple of days, I've been trying to do player props or, season-long props. I think those are fun. I think it's a little bit different. I've been trying to zero in on some of those. So I'm going to go back to the player props again. I'm going to take Jameson Williams over receiving yards. The line is set at 900.5. So I need him to go 901 or more. That's minus 115 at FanDuel. Listen, obviously, he's clearly the number 2 guy. He has cleared this mark the last couple of years. I believe he was, just over 1,000 and close to 1,100 last year. There's a new OC there, so it concerns me a little bit, but I think with the schedule Detroit has, the way they're going to be kind of in like FU mode with their offense this year, trying to put up points. And then one thing that I saw, which I loved, they play 11 dome games. Wow. That's incredible. 11 indoor games. Obviously, they have all their home games and then the games, when they go on the road. But 11 out of the 17, and with the deep ball that Jameson Williams and his, the way he could stretch the field, I think he's going to clearly go over this mark. So Jameson Williams over 900.5 receiving yards.
Interesting. All right, player prop. I don't mind that. I think I was looking the other day, Art, at the Browns here. And I know, although Keyshawn Junkins he sat out, he got hurt in one of the joint practices there, which is not great. But don't forget, this was a guy that had not one but 2 significant injuries in his rookie year to begin with. I think a fractured fibula and a dislocated ankle. And he was supposed to be healthy enough to give this a go. And let's face it, no matter who that quarterback is, the Browns are going to need to be able to run the football. And that new head coach of theirs likes to run the football. Just ask Lamar and company over at the Ravens what Monken like to do when it comes to running the ball. I believe his rushing prop was somewhere in the low 900s, 915, 920, somewhere in that ballpark there. They are going to have to rush the ball this year, Art, if they are going to have any success, because Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson, I am not buying it. Now, they should be better offensive line-wise. They lost a ton last year to injuries. If they can stay healthy, and more importantly, if Judkins can stay healthy, I think the Browns will have a 1,000-yard rusher this year, just because of pure the way that they're going to approach this game. They're not going to ask Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders to drop back 40 times a game at all. So I do think running the football is going to be a big, and I mean big, motivation for the Browns. So I think Keyshawn Judkins over his rushing total rushing yards for the season might not be a bad look, because Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders are not going to be leading the league in passing yards, Art, by any stretch. Would you agree?
I would agree with that. Their quarterback situation is a mess.
And they're still trying to figure it out. Go figure there. All right, college football here, Art. We are, like we said, 8 days away from opening week 0 here. What do you got for us in the futures market?
You know, this is really a market we haven't talked much about, the Heisman Trophy market. So I'm going to take a guy really high up on the board, but I'm looking at it a few ways. I'm going to take the quarterback from Miami, Mensa. I look at it like this. I've seen him as low as 8-1. MGM has him still at 11-1. And then you could even look at him in, we always talk about the predictor markets. You look at him at maybe 8, 9, 10 cents. Favorable schedule, the first 4, Stanford, Florida A&M, Wake Forest, Central Michigan. We could maybe be in a mode where you can cash out after 4 weeks. Deepest wide receiver room probably in the country. Really, really good offensive line. An offense that's probably going to score 40-plus points. So I look at him not only just taking maybe a season-long future at 11-1, but maybe getting involved with him in the predictive markets. Because you look at Arch early in the season, he's got to play Ohio State. So, maybe he gets dinged in there and he's above him. CJ Carr scares you a little bit because their schedule is bad, and he'll probably get off to a really good start. He's above him as well. But I like what Mensa's going to give you here.
Kind of like that too as well, Art. You know me. I think I mentioned I love Miami to win the national, Miami to win the play, to make the postseason, to win the ACC, just down the board, and it only makes sense that he's going to be a Heisman candidate one way or the other. Yep. So if Miami has the kind of year I think, then it should be very interesting. Could be a clean sweep there. I'm fascinated with the SEC, Art, and I got to tell you, he just signed an extension, which I think is great. The OU the OU head coach there, Venerables, just got an extension. There was some concern that maybe he'd be out if they weren't having some success. OU doesn't have a lot of patience. It's a very unrealistic fan base. Venerables hasn't exactly been tearing it up. He's a defensive-minded guy, but he got the right transfers. I think they're going to make the college football playoff this year. I think they're going to be with John Mateer, because don't forget, he got injured, right, last year. If he is healthy this year, which all indications are he's going to be healthy. He's having or had a tremendous spring and a camp. I don't see any reason why that OU can't make the college football playoff. The defense is going to be good. Defense was great last season under Venerables, and they killed it in the portal, Art. They're going to have a better defense this year with a great defensive head coach, and I think the offensive line, third in experience coming back for the OU Sooners. I think it could be a huge year and we're going to be concentrating on everybody else. Right? I definitely think OU is going to have maybe not even a bad opportunity to win, but also certainly make the college football playoff. Still about plus 200, plus 300 to make the college football playoff. I don't hate that at all, Art. I think OU is going to have a big year this year.
Yeah, you got to look at their win total as well over, because it's very low. But you're right. It's the defense. The defense is going to carry them. I think the offense probably catches up at some point, and Mateer's been around, but it's that defense that is probably being overlooked there in Oklahoma.
Crazy. Yep, absolutely crazy. All right, so we got some college football bets for you there. Now it is time to talk some Major League Baseball. We got a rundown coming up here, Art, for the games here today. 15 games, I believe, on the slate altogether today. And not a lot of early, the Atlanta-Milwaukee game is early, so why don't we start with that one? Art, what are we thinking here? It's got to be the pitching matchup of the weekend, Chris Sale versus Miz. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you picked Milwaukee in the parlay today. I can't disagree. Probably look at an under, too, because Atlanta, despite winning that game yesterday 2-0, they have not been good here lately. So to me, it's Milwaukee and an under.
All right, Cardinals at the Phillies here. Dobbins looks like versus Luzardo. Phillies found a little extra gear there against the Marlins coming off of that sweep. They are at home, although the Cardinals do nothing but win games. What do we do here?
Yeah, I mean, the Phillies have been so good, and the fact that they're at home and they're rolling right now, hard to not think the Phillies are going to continue.
Blue Jays, Yankees. Suddenly the Blue Jays figuring some things out. Had a pretty successful trip to Tampa. Now they're in the Bronx. Schlittler for the Yankees. What are you thinking, Art?
Yeah, I mean, normally you want to back Schlittler big time, and you got to find other ways to bet him, whether it's run line or first five run line, because you don't want to lay over $2. But that would scare me a little bit because, like you said, Toronto's been good here, and they're right in the thick of it to make the wild card. This to me would be a pass.
I would lean under if I'm leaning anything there, but it's already down to 7, I think. That's unbelievable. Giants, Red Sox, Logan Webb versus Sonny Gray. I don't see how we're going to get anything but less runs, not more runs. Maybe Giants team total under because they are atrocious. Nationals, Marlins, Lord versus Gusto here. What are you thinking, Art?
I would take the Nationals plus the money on the road. They're usually pretty good here on the road.
Rays, Orioles, Freddie Peralta versus Trevor Rogers. Listen, I always just bet Trevor Rogers in the first 5, and then that's it. But Peralta has been a gas can since coming over from the Mets, Art. Can't trust him. I don't like him on the road to begin with, but they weren't any good at home either.
No, yeah, you look at it and you're like, wow, how's Baltimore like a minus 130 favorite in this game? And it's because everything you just said. To me, it would be Baltimore or pass.
Mets, White Sox, Manea versus Burke. Burke's been good for the White Sox, although they got blanked yesterday by the Braves 2-0. What are we thinking? White Sox at home, or are you taking a shot with the Mets here?
No, White Sox at home, and maybe, honestly, I would even look at an over.
I don't hate that either. Ginn versus Wisniewski or Wesney, I have no idea. Astros suck on so many They just got the doors blown off them by the Angels last night. And now they're laying minus 180 at home against although the Athletics are a AAA team, but my goodness, that's absurd.
You can't lay almost $2 with the Astros, like you said. Now, there is the thought that they just came off getting whooped. So maybe they come out and have their best effort. Maybe, a first 5 run line, team total over, something like that. But, man, it's hard to lay that number with the Astros.
Possible. Tigers, Royals, Noah Cameron, who's been fantastic here for the Royals. You said sharps were on the Royals. I tend to agree with it there. And what about those Angels taking on the Rangers? Detmers versus Gore here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've talked the last couple of days, Prez and I, about how the Rangers just got to keep winning games. I believe maybe they're a game back or tied with the Astros now in the division. They're right there. You can't lose at home to the Angels. I know it's Detmers, but listen, there are going to be people who take a shot with Detmers because he's plus money, but you got to go with the Rangers.
Guardians at the Rockies. Cantillo going on the mound there. Can we even bet an over with the Guardians? Do we trust them even in Colorado to score enough to get this thing over, Art?
No.
Yeah, under. Reds, Diamondbacks. I don't know. Reds in epic fashion lose that game yesterday with 2 outs in the 9th, dropping a routine pop. Just absolutely terrible. Diamondbacks have the day off. I like the Diamondbacks there. Twins at the Padres. Musgrove is back, but it looks like Randy Vasquez is going to open, and then we might see good old Joe Musgrove back for the Padres.
Yeah, and the Sharps are on the Padres. They like the Padres at home. They like the way they've been playing. And both teams, listen, right in the thick of playing for playoff positions. Yep. It's actually a sneaky good underrated series here this weekend.
Cubs, Mariners, Boyd versus Hancock here. Mariners are terrible on so many levels. I think the Cubs get it done here. What do you think?
I don't disagree. And like I said, in my parlay of the day pick, I picked under, so I'm going to stick with that.
There you go. All right, Pirates, Dodgers. You've got Yamamoto versus Bubba Chandler in this one. Kind of hard to trust the Dodgers unless they're playing in Colorado, I guess. I don't know, Art. What do you think? Are you laying 230?
I'm never going to lay that price with the Dodgers, despite if they figure it out against Colorado or not. The Pirates are a tricky team to figure out. There's so many games on the board, you just pass on this game.
I agree. All together there. And that's it. That's your Major League Baseball rundown. Great stuff. Can't believe it. Next week, it is football. We get college football back next week. Plenty of, final opportunity for teams to figure it out in the NFL on who's making the roster and who is not. So we have got you covered. Just about 30 games or less here for the end of the regular season in Major League Baseball. The postseason will be here. And, of course, we've got you covered because we're the best betting show ever there, Art. Don't forget, like and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys taking the time. Art, we'll be back on Monday. Not sure if Prez will be back or not, but who really cares at that point? But maybe Brian Power. No, let's not do that here. Let's just tell him we moved. We'll tell them we moved and there was no forwarding address there. But guys, enjoy the weekend. Art and I, for sure, we'll see you again on Monday for another edition of the best betting show ever. Enjoy.